Okay, the last section in topic 5 is section 5.5, and it says inequalities in two triangles. So in the last section, we looked at in one particular triangle, where the larger angle is at, we have the longer side across from it. The only thing that's going to change in this section is now we're comparing two different triangles, and we're trying to compare which of the triangles would have the longer side or the larger angle. Okay, and if you look at this particular example here, it says, how much can an alligator eat? The wider he opens his jaw, the larger the item he can bite. Notice that the length of his jaw bones do not change. For example, this is the same alligator, so the distance here, the length of his jawbone here is the same in both pictures, and the length of the top part of his mouth here, that's not changing. It's the same alligator, so his mouth is the same length. What's changing is the angle that he has his mouth open. Okay, this angle is changing. He doesn't have his mouth open as much. This is a smaller angle. That means this distance is going to be smaller than this distance. So we're now making that comparison within two triangles. Okay, and it's called the hinge theorem. If I'm comparing two triangles, it says if two sides of one triangle are congruent to two sides of another. So you can see the two triangles have tick marks in them showing you that there's two sides that are congruent within each triangle. If that's true, it says, and the included angles are not congruent. So W and A aren't the same angles. And then the longer third side is opposite of the larger included angle. So it looks like W is a bigger angle than A, which means this side XY is going to be greater than the length of side BC. That's all they're saying. Again, I can't tell you how long it actually is. I just know it's going to be longer than side BC in this case. It says, and the converse is true. If two sides of one triangle are congruent to two sides of another triangle. So again, you're seeing the tick marks where you know that the two sides of the triangle are congruent. If the third side of the triangles aren't equal to each other, then the larger included angle is opposite of the longer third side. So if I were to know that side EF is longer than UV, then I would know that the measure of angle D is greater than the measure of angle T. Okay, you can see an example of this. It says the tension in the exercise band varies proportionally with the stretch distance. Okay, this is the same person. So this person's height in both pictures and both triangles is going to be the same. And this person's arm length is going to be the same in both of those triangles. What's changing is the angle in between. Okay, it says which position shown in the figure has a greater tension in the band. Which of these bands is going to be longer or have more tension in it? Well, if we look at the angle, there's only a 50-degree angle here with his arm and his body, and here there's an 80-degree angle. Since this angle measures larger, then the K to M is going to be greater than the K to L in the picture. This side right here is going to be longer because it's across from the larger angle. Let's look at some problems that you're going to encounter on your worksheet. Okay, it says find the range of possible values for x in each of these figures. Okay, these figures have congruent pieces right here. Those two sides are congruent to each other, and those two are congruent to each other. Okay, because this is 21 and this is 16, there's a couple of different ways that you can write this, but we're going to be writing inequalities. We're going to be using less than or greater than. Okay, if I look at these two sides, this is smaller, right? So the angle across from it in the triangle, this 32 degrees, is going to be less than this angle, the 3x plus 5. I'm going to write an inequality. The reason that this 32 is less than this angle, these are both representing angle measures. 32 is less because 16 is less than 21. You're always looking for the angle, for the side across from it, the angle, okay? So, and I solved this. To solve an inequality, we do the same thing as if it said equals. We subtract 5 from both sides. So I get 27 is less than 3x. Divide by 3. you get 9 is less than x. You can leave your answer like that, or you could flip that over. You could say x is greater than 9. And you don't have to do that, but if you want to take your inequality and just flip it over so that your variable is first, you can do that. This is how we write a range of values. X is greater than 9. All right, if I look at the next diagram, again, I see tick marks telling me that I've got two sides of the triangle that are congruent to each other. So I'm going to compare these two angles. These are the included angles. If I look at the sides across from them, okay, which one is, let's do it greater than this time. Which one's bigger? Well, 12 is obviously bigger than 10. So since 12 is bigger, this angle measure 54 is also going to be bigger than this angle that's across from the 10, the 4x minus 18. Okay, to solve this, I'd be adding 18 to both sides. (72) is greater than 4x, divided by 4. So 24, is that right? No, 18 is greater than x. Okay, you can leave your answer like that, or if you want to flip it over, say x is less than 18. Okay, that's what you get for that particular problem. X is less than 18. We've got several pieces going on here. Let's see. Let's find this piece right here and this piece right here. Those are the only variables I see, so that's what we're looking at. And if I go across from that angle, I got an 18. If I go across from that angle, I have a 14. Okay, so this 2x minus 4 is across from 18. 2x minus 4. Is this angle here going to be bigger or smaller than this angle? Because the side is bigger, it's going to be greater than the 36. Okay, and I know these look very close to being vertical to each other, but they are not vertical angles. They are not equal to each other. And here's why. Okay, this is a line that's, you see this line right here, that doesn't deviate, but there's just a little bit. When this line comes up, it does turn there. It's not actually straight to create a vertical angle. So these two angles are not vertical to each other. They're slightly off. But I do know that this angle measure is going to be greater than this angle measure because this side is greater than that side. When I solve that, I add 4. I got 2x is greater than 40, so x is greater than 20. And that would be my solution there. So on your worksheet for 5.5, you're going to be writing inequality statements and solving those inequalities. Okay, go ahead and give that worksheet a try and join the Zoom meetings.